How's it going, team? Eddie Gray here. Hope this Saturday finds you well, healthy, in alignment with your highest self, your highest calling. More than ever, I'm so present to a life that's worth living. I'm so present to being in your purpose. A quick story for you guys. I know this is pre-recorded, but it's coming from the heart. You guys know I'm moving, and I've been reflecting quite a lot on this space and everything that I've been able to achieve here. As some of you know, I recently lined up with Apple by means of a company called Learnquest, and I've been able to fulfill one of my dreams. Now, something that I haven't stated in public is that I was supposed to be flown out to New Jersey, all expenses paid, and then the pandemic hit. And I'm not gonna lie, the first day I was pretty aghast. I was pretty thrown off, and I'd climbed and done all this work, and it was this dream that I really I needed to have, and then I had it right there, right in front of me, and then circumstances that were unforeseen occurred. Now, at that moment, I had a choice, and that choice was happiness or misery. So, unbeknownst to me, that pandemic was one of the best things that ever happened to me. HF Music Academy would not even be in existence. The YouTube channel, we're growing so much. None of this would be happening. All the people that we've touched, I've made some videos with Jacques Franco. He's touched a lot of people in the blind community. Been able to foster new relationships that would not have been possible. Some of you know that I've been creating review videos, so companies are reaching out to me now. They're giving me all their swag, and I've been able to turn this into something else. I've been able to build some great relationships with partners from afar, and just really present to the fact that even though it's beyond my control, my reaction has created a beautiful path, a beautiful garden that I can now appreciate from afar. And so even though it hasn't happened yet, I know it's going to happen. You guys don't understand this dream of being flown out, and this has been something I've been wanting since I was a little kid. And then now, as a grown man, to see it still change, it makes me hungrier than ever to be the CEO of Logic, to work hand in hand with David Earl, who's currently the CFO, to bring my Logic curriculum to Apple, or to Cupertino, or wherever it needs to go. So rather than get defeated, the message today is to become driven and let it move your course, move with it, kind of change with it. So I'm just really again present to all the myriad of possibilities. And now that I've been here for over a year, created a bunch of great content. This was all stuff that I saw in my head before I even knew that it was going to happen. Ask DBP, I always kept saying, hey, I'm going to license my stuff to Apple. I'm going to have a bunch of courses everywhere. People are going to benefit from this all over the world. My course, How to Maximize Your Desktop and Laptop CPU Performance, has over 3,600 downloads, guys. All from just giving and trying to be of service and trying to be a contribution to creative people just like you. Another quick story. I had a music studio when I was in my early 20s. I was not the person that I am today. I was undeveloped, immature, narcissistic, completely out of my element. Good intentions, pretty good work ethic, but that's not going to be enough. Your mindset has to be in the right place. You have to be purpose driven. You have to have the right goals. You have to have the right questions. You have to have the right community. You have to have the right mentorship. And I remember when I lost my first studio, I'll never forget it. I remember I had my arm across my head, and I'm leaning against the wall, just feeling pain. Just feeling sorry that I wasn't able to sustain the dream. This dream that I've been chasing since I was 8 years old. That's when I first started becoming aware of music, and I really fell in love with it and became committed at the age of 11. And so here I am, invested time, energy, money, resources, things that I'll never get back. Have had coaching with one of Hollywood's greatest vocal coaches at the time, Mr. James Lugo, one of the Valley's greatest vocal teachers in the Deva method, Jeannie Deva. And I've done so much worked with various guitar teachers, and I failed, right? I couldn't keep up the music studio at the time. I wasn't ready at the time. Fast forward, you guys know the story, got into personal training and did that whole thing, and that was fun and that was interesting. But and it was a fun way to spend that time. Okay, like if you're gonna kind of live that in that world, it's fantastic to do it in your 20s. But still, there was a dream. There was unfulfilled potential inside that I knew that I had to access. A lot of things came together at the right time. I met the right people, and then I started to get back on the path that I knew I was destined to live. And many of you have your stories and how everything kind of intertwines for you. And I just want to remind you that there are the difficulties, failing the studio, failing the artist career, and then at some point you get so fed up, you get so sick and tired of being sick and tired that you just decide that it's time to change, that you no longer will settle for wanting another piece of gear, or you no longer will settle for always having budgetary or time constraints. It then becomes necessary to evolve. And so when I was composing and on the come up, right, because that was kind of like the second half of my music career, was like, all right, I'm going to be this composer. I'm going to make these musical statements. I'm going to make memorable and captivating themes that are interesting and yet unique, and they're mine. They're my kind of sonic identities, and I'm going to share some music with you right here in a second. And I composed in my living room, then my wife's bedroom, my wife and I, and finally she got sick and tired of it, kicked me out. I went into her closet, pulled out everything, bought her a beautiful closet set, and then I composed in my wife's bedroom. You guys know I was subleasing in Hollywood. The guys were smoking way too much ganja, so I decided to come to North Hollywood, where it was much more professional. I was subleasing. That's all I could do. It's all I could conceive in my mind was like, okay, I'm gonna sublease. And then you gotta believe in yourself. You gotta have these goals, right? You gotta make sure you keep setting these goals so you can get more and more out of yourself, more and more out of your life. And then when it was time to move, you guys were, a lot of you were there, yeah, I was, in some ways frightened, and I didn't know what was going to happen, but I knew it was my time. And even though I was scared, and even though I had some trepidation, I just kept moving forward. I didn't get in my own way. And now I've been here for over 1 year. I've given my life, my blood. I've had so many clients, been able to sustain the business, been profitable. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful. This means the world to me. It's not easy running a business like this. Obviously, these aren't things that I necessarily talk about out in the open. I've had the pleasure of having an assistant now. It's like I know the beauty of having somebody to help you and work with you and collaborate. So that's been a life-changing thing for me. And now that I'm building a new music studio, it's going to be professionally treated. I've got some of the best treating the room. I'm just reflecting on the last couple years and why did it work here? Okay, so I just want to have an honest, transparent compressor. I just want to have an honest and transparent. It's because I use the phrase transparent and transparent compressor. Conversation. All right, I just want to have a quick back and forth with you, why things work in our lives, and if we're frank and we really just tell it like it is, when things work, it's mostly because you give it your all. You're not scattered. You're not drifting off somewhere. You're not dreaming about doing this, or you're not wishing you were doing that. You're fully invested, the good and the bad, the ups and the downs, the lefts and the rights, in the process. And I can honestly say the reason this year worked, why this worked, and why I'm not going to get up for it, but the remix contest, when I won the remix contest last year, why that worked was because I was fully invested. I had given my entire being, all my cellular structure, my ego, my identity. It was a sacrifice worth giving to me. Music has been, in so many ways, everything that I have ever wanted and still want. It keeps me going every single day, and to be able to talk to you guys about it and commune together and to hear your triumphs, it means the world to me. So I just wanted to say thank you to you guys. This is such a wonderful group, wonderful community. Thank you for all of you for bringing us together, for imparting knowledge, for correcting one another with grace. I couldn't ask for a better group, and I couldn't ask for better people. So thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I feel absolutely honored, and I will continue to bring, all my heart, all my being, with love, with integrity. And so, closing the book on this amazing experience, on this amazing studio, I realized that I am getting too big for this fishbowl, and there's more to do, and there's more to conquer, there's more to learn. And so with that being said, you guys know that I recently signed a publishing deal with Strike Audio. Basically, like every couple months, I'm signing a new one. And so this time around, we got 10 songs on the deal. Unfortunately, I can't bring any writers. I've done my best to do so, but it's a logistical nightmare with all the admin and stuff. But I wanted to kind of bring you in and show you, how I like to write for these guys. This is a lot of information that I can't really play on YouTube simply because of all the, the licensing constraints and all the YouTube monetization and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and jump right into a session, and then we're going to get into the second half of this, which is the goal setting. I know we did a little bit of it last time, and I was just kind of warming you up and prepping you up, but today's session will be very deep. So I want you to go ahead and grab a notebook, grab your phone. If that applies, I highly recommend you write this down, because this is the very procedure that I ran before I got my music studio. And this was a dream come true. I just got all of my gear, as you guys know. Another dream come true. I have more dreams. I have more aspirations. And I look forward to realizing our dreams and our aspirations together. So go ahead and get that notebook real quick. I'm going to bring you guys into Logic. We're going to talk music. And then we will have our proper goal setting session. So here we go. All right, so we're inside of a session that I probably cranked out in, I call it 4 hours, maybe 6. I got into a nice zone, and I just want to talk about some of the specs and why this track works. I guess I'll work in reverse insofar as the overall tone. Obviously, all of you, beginners, novices alike, should be referencing inside of a reference plugin. This is the one that I like. There's another one called Meter AB or something like that, but this is really the one, for 3 reasons. Number one, well, maybe 4, but you get the frequency bands that you don't get in other plugins. So you get to compare your song to other songs in terms of frequency, compression or punch, and then stereo image. You don't get that with other plugins. You also get a straight LUFS readout, and then a true peak readout as well. So that is reason alone to make sure you're writing right next to one of these reference, and definitely mastering, but at least writing can be, something else you utilize it for. I use it for analyzing music. I have various applications for it. So that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and let you hear the song top to bottom, and I guess I'll show you the reference just so you understand my psychology. Now, my intention, at least not now, but is to create my own version of what I'm hearing. I'm not trying to phrase by phrase and not copy the song. I don't want to copy the key. I don't want to copy the BPM. I'm just listening to hear the general direction, and then I'll write from the heart. For years, I studied. I was a chameleon. I was mimicking everything I heard, and now I'm kind of moving into a new phase where I'm trusting my artistry, and I'm trusting myself insofar as being able to turn these tracks into something special. So here's the reference just so you get a sense of what we're working with here. So just off the top, you got a bass guitar, a pad, and some marimbas with some delay. Oh, hold on, let me move this over. Okay, so you guys understand the spacing, the simplicity, and just the overall delivery. This is called dramedy. This is neither too heavy, too sullen or dark or somber, nor is it too happy or quirky or anything like that. So then I came up with this real basic phrase here. So I was thinking about the Police as I was listening to one of the composing templates that I've sent you guys, the corporate comedy one. And I was thinking about this Police riff, And I thought it'd be cool if we could find something, in this vein. So took the influences from the past, took the reference, and then created this jambalaya soup. Check it out. Okie dokie. So just a couple of interesting points that I think modern composers and creative people can appreciate. I had this bass kind of pizzicato thing going on here. So yeah, originally it was the contrabass, and then I ended up using a synthesizer from Spitfire. Must have been one of those Spitfire Labs. I don't remember at this time. And then that in combination with the marimba made it, and then we just decorated the rest of the track. But here's what I want to share with you. So I had this bass thing, right? And I thought, wow, wouldn't it sound a lot more realistic if we just added some bass noise? So here, now listen to it in combination with this bass noise that I got from Trillion, which is basically just a bass synthesizer, bass emulator from Spectrasonics. But here, check it out together. So together sounds like two different things happening at the same time, right? Here's the slapping. But when I got to that part of the song, it just felt like it needed to feel like somebody was actually playing that part. And I found that together, it worked really nice in combination. And why I'm sharing this with you is because I want you to understand that a lot of this is a hack. It doesn't have to be perfect, right? You can kind of mess up the recipe a little bit and it can be better for it. It's just a matter of calculating it and trusting yourself to make these kinds of decisions. So here, check it out in the context of the track. Yeah, one of my favorite things about this track is when the clavinet comes in. Here, check this out. It's nice. It just adds another element of depth. It's just essentially playing back what the piano is playing. Oh, not the lead, but the chords. I believe, is it this guy? No, that's like the where's the piano? Oh yeah, it's right here. So simple part, I was inspired by Radiohead, that whole like, OK Computer and Kid A kind of, they had a bunch of stuff with like these tonic piano pieces that really worked out. So yeah, together it sounds something like this. So put together all of your influences, emulate, and there you will find you. So I hope this helps you guys. Keep watching different people work, ask more questions, take 1, 2, 3 different tips, listen to their compositions. What are they doing? Oh, he's adding some wood blocks, and then he's got this kind of tension thing here. Keep working for it, and it's just a matter of time before you start developing your own voice. And this is an ongoing development. It's not like we ever get anywhere. Sure, you might write your magnum opus at some point, but then what comes after that? Who else are you going to collaborate or whose musical vision will you bring to life? It's not just a matter of getting there. It's a matter of getting there, sustaining it, bringing out as much as you can from yourself and from others. So yeah, I'm gonna stop there, but yeah, we're gonna keep writing music. We're gonna keep trusting ourselves, and we're gonna keep the ball rolling. Lots of new opportunities coming for you guys, so I hope you guys are ready. So keep working at it, and we'll go from there. All right, so let's get into the next section here. I'm gonna go ahead and open up Logic. I have some background music that I want you guys to enjoy while you're writing your goals. Now, it's super important that we take this serious and we take the time, because normally you're probably serving a bunch of other people and taking care of other people's needs and other people's goals and other people's dreams. And maybe it's time we start to pay attention to our own dreams and design our life, right? And what it's going to be and what it's going to look like. I'm telling you guys, this stuff works. I am amazed that I've got all this gear here, that I've been able to, have a super productive year, and then now building the home studio. So again, please bring out a notebook, some construction paper, whatever it is, and let's start jotting these ideas down. So let me talk to you over here. Okay. So here's what I find, that there are 7 steps to achieving goals. All right, I'm going to go ahead and tell you what they are, and then we're going to work on them together. So this is now the goal setting workshop. So the 7 steps to achieve your goals go something like this, and various people have different systems, but I've broken down 2 of my favorites and put them into one. Number 1, decide exactly what you want. So it has to get specific. You can't say, I just want a car. You have to say which car, make, model, all the deets. Okay. So when we write our goals right now, I want you guys to be specific. Number 2, you got to write it down. You can't keep it, in your head. You have to make sure that it's on paper, that you can access it, that you can look at it. Another good place is your phone as well, but there is power behind the written word. You want to set a deadline, as it creates a sense of this is when it's going to happen. You're kind of notifying your being. And this is one, to me, that I've had, personal trouble with, but I continue doing it. And what I find is that it becomes more and more real as time goes on. So those are 3. Here are the next 4. 7 steps to achieve your goals. Make a list of everything you can do to accomplish your goals. So on top of the very simple task of just writing down the goals, we're now going to get specific. This is what we didn't do last time. Okay, so this time, not only are we going to write down the obstacles that may be in our way, internal obstacles, self-limiting beliefs, but also external obstacles, like if having a studio is one of your dreams. Okay, what are some of the current obstacles that you're facing in order to get there? Right? If you've always wanted to buy a certain instrument, or you wanted to collaborate with a certain person, what's stopping you from getting there? So not only are we going to cover the obstacles, but what are the skills that you actually have to learn? So again, we're going to cover this, and list of people that you can work with that can help take your career to the next level. And then everything that you have to do. So what else? Maybe you have a very slow computer and that's been holding you back. All right, that's going to be something that's on my list. Or perhaps you have, a solid system, but you really haven't taken the time to learn the interface. You really haven't taken the time to understand, how to optimize your setup. So then that would become something that you write down. So that's number 4. Number 5 is organize the list by sequence and priority. So then you're going to organize when it should happen and how it should happen. Okay. After that, you start taking immediate action and move swiftly. So once you have this list developed, and we will by the end of this session, then it is time to get into action. We're not going to wait. We're not going to say tomorrow or, come Monday, I'll get into it. We're going to start right away. Okay. And then finally, number 7 is do something every day that moves you in the direction of your goal. Now I'm talking 365 days a year. For some of you, you want that day off, you want that fluffy pillow. Let me tell you, this is how it happens. Full commitment all the way. Okay. So even if on that day off, you're still doing some administration, or you reach out to a couple of people, or maybe you join up with a collaborator and have a conversation about finishing your track, whatever it may be, get on point. Okay. So just keep moving the ball forward 365 days a year. Okay. So we're going to start the exercise now. It's the system that I just, notated and laid out, but now we're going to kind of go through detail. So there'll be moments where we actually pause. And so this is when I want you to write. Do me a favor. Do not let the pen stop writing. Make up stuff. go big, you know, swing for the fences, do things, or write things that you never thought were even conceivable. You know, I'm in this position now, I'm working for this person, I have my own company, whatever the case may be. This is how it starts. We're planting the seed in effect today, right now. All right, we're providing the proper environment for it, and we're going to plant it. Here we go. You guys ready? All right, let me bring you in here. We're going to play some music in the back. Let's do it this way just to be sure. I'm pretty sure it'll play. Let's just do it this way. All right. All right, guys. So the very first thing we're going to do for the next couple minutes is we're going to write down goals. So I want you to write fervently, like you've never done this before. If in your life you have never really applied yourself, and if you've never felt the satisfaction of giving your entire being to something, let's do it now. Try it on. Let's just try to fully apply ourselves to this moment. Just give yourself to this exercise. So I want you to go ahead, start writing down as many goals as you can. And preferably you would state them in the I am. So I am taking my family on a vacation to. All right. So go ahead and start writing just goals. I am. And you could be doing goals for other people. Go ahead, start writing them down. Don't wait. Everybody get in your zone. We're writing them down. We're writing them down. These could be material goals. Maybe you want to close the loop on certain chapters in your life. Whatever calls you. What are some things that you've always wanted to achieve? What would make the difference? Let's just keep writing these down. Keep writing them down. Keep writing them down. So yeah, don't let the pen stop. Just keep writing down goals, as many as you can. My goal is to get 2,000 goals. Again, I'm on like 370 something. So if there's ever a car you've always wanted to drive, which one? What year? What color? If you want to be in a relationship, what kind of relationship? What kind of person? What do they look like? What do they feel like? What do they sound like? Do they have a sense of humor? Let's get into the details. Just keep writing down all the goals. Books you haven't read. Places you haven't been to, people you haven't met yet. Publishers you want to work with. Positions you wish to fill. I'll give you one more minute. Let's just keep going, keep churning them out. Even if it doesn't feel natural, just kind of move onward, push forward, and then you'll start getting into a groove where you just keep writing down more and more and more. These can be philanthropic in nature. If you wish to be a contribution to society, to mankind, who would you want to help? All right, 10 seconds. Keep writing. Okay, now for this next part, I want you to look over the entire list, and I want you to just start putting a date at the end of the sentence phrase, and this is going to be the deadline. So I want you to go back to the list you just covered, and this could include the list that you wrote before, last week, the week before that. And now I want you to start to include a date. So now you're telling yourself, you're telling your subconscious, you're telling your conscious mind, hey, this is when it's going to happen by. So go ahead, go over the entire list. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. So when do you expect to reach your goals? Go ahead and just write that down next to every single goal. Now, if you're done early, go back and write down some more goals. You got 1 more minute. And if you can't think of any more goals, think of other people. You will not be exhausted of ideas if you think of other people. Trust me, there's so many human beings you can help. Kids that grow up without fathers, people in need of resources, families in need of education, single mother family homes. I mean, the homeless situation. There's so much that we can do. Okay, so just keep going. 30 more seconds. Ten seconds. Okay, go ahead. Chill out. Tension back. And just do me a quick favor before we commence here. Go ahead and just take a deep breath. A lot of us, we don't pay attention to the breathing process, and obviously it's so vital to us. So every once in a while, just go back to the breath. Perhaps one of the best things you can do for your life. Okay, so we're currently on number 3. I want you to go ahead, scan the list, and pick out 4 to 5 of the most important goals. So pick out 4 to 5 of the most important goals, and then on a separate section or sheet, I want you to write down why you will absolutely accomplish them. Why is it important that you accomplish them? So I'm going to tell you a quick story while I set the timer. When I was commissioned to write for Born This Way, season 2, 3, and 4, that show meant so much to me. Not only was it my first big break, not only was it my first big contract and check, but I remember sitting in the office with the president of music, and I remember reflecting on why I wanted this to happen. So I was sitting with the music supervisor, the president of music, and the only reason that I wanted to get the gig was for my sister and my wife, so they could be proud of me. They had given me so much love. They had encouraged me, believed in me. And it was their belief in me that ignited me to accomplish that goal. So what would make the difference for you? What are the reasons? Why are you going to accomplish this? Tell me why. I want you to write down why you're going to absolutely accomplish these goals. Why is it important that you accomplish these 4 or 5 goals? Go ahead and write that down. We got about 3 minutes and 30 seconds. And this is where we want to get detailed, okay? Be passionate. Commit. Be bold. Earl Schoaf, the great author orator, he says that if you have enough reasons, you will accomplish something. So if you've been having trouble accomplishing your goals, it's simply because you haven't had enough reasons to do it. One of my driving reasons every single day is HF Music Academy and all the people that we're touching and all the people that we're helping. I see you guys improving. I see you guys making more money, and I want more of it. I want to see you realize your aspirations. So what would make the difference? Why is it important that you do this work? Who would it affect? Would it change your grandma's life, your mother's life, your husband, your wife, your partner? 2 more minutes. Why is it important that you accomplish this goal? I know for me, my ancestry is a big part of why I fight every day, why I get up. I think about all the sacrifices that my parents made. I think about the sacrifices that my grandparents made, and it gets me fired up. If I'm ever tired, experiencing any lackluster emotions, that gets me going every time. Fight, not just for yourself, but grind for others. All the sacrifices people have made for you to be here. 1 more minute. What would make the difference? Why are you doing what you're doing? Why is it important to you? If it's not important to you, if you don't have reasons, you're not going to do it. So get connected to the emotion. And when you associate the goal with the emotion, you will be unstoppable. So why is this important to you? 30 seconds. Breathe. Ten seconds. Okay, so now that you feel a little bit more connected to the reasons, now, again, right beside the same goals, same section, and this can look however, we can rewrite this later. Let's just tap into the emotion, okay? Describe what you will experience when you achieve the goals. Describe how you will feel and what you will experience when you achieve the goals. Again, when I signed my first contract and I was sitting in that room and I thought about my ancestry and I thought about my wife and my sister, I just remember thinking, I'm going to make them proud. You know, their life will be better because of this. Their life will be different because of this. And I'm going to be proud. This is a life-defining moment for me when I realized my dreams. I was now going to associate myself as a winner, victorious. I redeemed myself. So describe what you're going to experience. I am feeling elated. I am feeling gratitude. I am so joyous that my partner sees me with love and respect and honors me every day and every night of my natural life. Describe what you will experience when you achieve your goals. Get connected to it. Go deep. I'll give you 1 more minute. These aren't just words. Please remember, this is a state that you're provoking, that you're creating right now. We're planting the seed. Make it real. Make it viable. Make it visceral. 30 seconds. Keep writing. Don't stop writing. Good. 10 seconds. We're still cognizant of our breaths, really attuned into the moment. Okay, so now we're moving on here. What resources do you have available to help you? I want you to make a list of what you have going for you. So we talked about how we want to make a list of everything. So give me a list of people or perhaps skill sets. Like maybe, let's say you want to be a newscaster or something, and you're very eloquent, you're very clever. Let's name attributes that lend themselves well to the career. For example, in the world of being an entrepreneur, in the world of being a music creative and an entrepreneur, you need to be able to network. So if you're somebody that is easy to talk to, generous, let's name all of those attributes and things that are working in your favor. If you have a cousin that is a music supervisor or something like this, go ahead and write down things that are working for you right now, and people you could reach out to, maybe a friend of a friend, an acquaintance. Start to generate in your mind, and it will give you answers. Trust me. I won't go into it now, but this is one of the ways I was able to create my first sponsorship. Was I asked myself, and I kind of went through all of these different answers. So go ahead and ask yourself, what do I have working for me, and who can I reach out to in order to help me with my goals? So what resources do you have at your disposal? So to construct an empowering vision of your future, you need to do the same thing as beginning a construction project. You need to know which tools you have. So make a list of what you have going for you. Talking character traits, friends, financial resources, education, time, energy, what have you. So let's come up with an inventory of the strengths, skills, and resources and tools. Let's go 2 more minutes. Keep looking inside yourself. Keep trying to get the answers. Draw them out. Love that you're taking the time to do this for yourself. So valuable. This is so valuable. All right, so as you're writing these down, you're thinking about your character traits. 1 more minute. I want you to think of 3 to 5 times in your life when you were totally successful. And think of those attributes and start writing those down. We've all at times encountered triumphant moments. So who were you being? What kind of conversations were you having? What kind of food were you eating? Let's go back into the memory well and perhaps learn something from that being. Good. So 30 more seconds where we're writing down all the attributes that we have going for us. And I'm kind of trying to pull some more information from you. What are the things that make you successful? What are the things that really make your life work? For example, maybe when you were, getting your bachelor's or a certification or what have you. Excuse me. What modes did you get into? How did you deal with the stress? What are some of the things that work in your life? Do you work better under pressure? Are you somebody that works better when you have a lot of time? Right? Start thinking about all of these details. So what makes you successful? I know for myself, when I immerse myself, when I'm fully committed to the game, when there's no other option, when all the ships are burned, when all the books have been read, like I need to be able to just do it all the way, and that's when I win. So what does it take for you in order to win? Okay, good. Let's move on to number 7. And I want you to describe the kind of person that you're going to have to be in order to attain your goal. So if you want to be a TV composer, you're going to have to be organized. You're going to have to be multifaceted in terms of your skill set. You're going to have to learn how to hack in terms of, production. So what kind of person do you have to be in order to attain your goals? So we're talking about the 4 or 5 most important goals, and we're starting to pull more emotion so you can get connected to it energetically. So is it going to take a great deal of discipline in order for you to achieve your goals? Do you need more education? That might be it. So you guys know I'm all about action, but if the reality is that you need the education, well, then that's okay too. But let's go ahead and look at it properly, okay? So what abilities do you need in order to accomplish your goals? Let's go about 2 more minutes here. So obviously success is a mindset. It's not just, cranking the work or, having nice conversations. A lot of it is about, who you're being, your attitudes, the way you react to things, your beliefs. What is it going to take? What kind of person do you have to become in order to achieve those lofty, beautiful, rich, creamy, and juicy goals? 1 more minute. So we're talking character traits. What kind of disciplines? For myself, I practice guitar when I come here. I practice the piano. I know it's important to the skill, to the job, and so this is something that I do consistently. So what kind of person do you have to become? What kind of traits do you have to develop in order to accomplish your dreams? 10 seconds. Okay, so now real talk. We're going to start talking about obstacles. I don't want you to hold anything back at this point, okay? It's really important. This is the most important part here. I want you to start writing down what prevents you from having the things that you desire right now. And I want you to keep it so real. I want this to be a pivotal moment, a fork in the road where you started to see and feel and experience change. So tell me, what's holding you back? Because you have to understand the limitations before you can actually overcome them. So what's holding you back right now? Are you a procrastinator? Do you start something and never finish? Do you start something but not apply yourself all the way? And do you have one foot in and one foot out? Come on, let's be honest. Let's be real now. What is it? Do you spread yourself too thin? Do you overthink it? Do you study too much? What is it? What's holding you back? Do you just not believe in yourself? Again, let's keep it real. What is it? Why haven't you been able to achieve what you've set out to achieve? Is it that you simply do not believe it can happen? And if it is, go ahead and write it down and we will dispel of it. Just go ahead and write it down. We all have ways of limiting ourselves, our own strategies for failing, but by recognizing our past limitation strategies, recognizing your past limitation strategies, we can change them now. Let's go one more minute. It says here, we can know what we want, why we want it, who will help us, and a lot of other things, but the critical ingredient that in the end determines whether we succeed in achieving our outcomes is our actions. And of course, your actions are tied to your beliefs. So we're creating a step-by-step plan here, okay? Let's go 30 more seconds. So what's holding you back? And if you're somebody that gets scared, that gets fearful, how can you develop? Start thinking of solutions. So like maybe you're an introvert. Fantastic. Are you willing to just get out there in spite of yourself? Are you willing to take chances, to stutter, to stammer, whatever? What is it going to take in order for you to get out? Because there is something in the way of you and your goal. And so we're trying to define those right now. Okay, good. Take another breath. Usually 4 seconds in, pause 1 or 2 seconds. Really good for the nervous system. Great practice. Okay, couple more here for you. We're now going to develop a step-by-step plan. Okay, so consider this a first draft. This is not kind of the final, but how are we going to achieve our dreams? So start with the one goal, because you have a couple of goals, and then what do I have to do to accomplish this one goal? And then if you feel like you're being held back, what's preventing me from having this now? And what can I do to change this? So in other words, we're now getting into action items, action steps that we can do today. So if you've been really wanting and needing to monetize your music, I want you to write every last thing that you can do in order to really monetize your music. And let's say your music is good enough, it's solid, good, right from that place. And if your music needs to develop, let's talk about how we can get it to that place, because it can get there. People have proven it in this group that were not there 3 months ago, 6 months ago, a year ago, and now they're absolutely crushing it. So let's do 1 more minute. We're taking a step-by-step plan, and we're gonna put it into use. So how are you going to achieve this? Start writing down all of the things that you can do. Let's say your compositions are where they need to be. Okay, I'm going to analyze 2 songs from every library that I currently have a lead for. I'm going to drag it into my DAW, play with the arrangement, understand the ins and outs, learn and analyze the song. What do you need to do to get to that next level? 20 seconds, step by step. Come on. Who do you need to talk to? What courses do you need to what are your weaknesses? Are you pretty decent at composition but not mixing? Okay, which courses can you watch? Do you want to start performing live? You don't know how to use live loops yet? Go check out the course, HF Music Academy. Let's go 10 seconds. Okay, I got 2 more for you. Now we're going to get into your models of success. So after you've actually, you know what? I'll give you guys 30 more seconds. Let's go ahead and write out every single action item step that we can take today. Okay, today, what are some things that we can actually do to move our goals forward, to actually realize our dreams, to actualize all of that which is within us already? Let's go 10 more seconds. What else can you do? Come on. Okay. All right. So in order to achieve what it is you are setting out to achieve, it's good to have models of success. People who have done it either in the same field or in another field, where you not only learn the system or the actions, but you also learn the mindset and you learn the habits and the why behind it. And so I'm going to share with you guys my models of success. I have a couple of heroes that have always inspired me. Every time I think about them, when I read their books, when I listen to their poetry, Khalil Gibran, the great poet, with this exercise, something else that I should mention is that I want you to write down all of your heroes. They could be living or they could be past, and I want you to write down a piece of advice that they would give you if they met you or if they were in your presence. So for example, the Khalil Gibran would tell me to breathe deeply and continue my love for poetry. I actually don't really like much poetry except his, but you understand what I mean. I also really like Osho's work, and there's another great guy. What's his name? It's in the tip of my tongue. Okay, so for example, my other heroes, Mishima, the great Japanese author, he would tell me something like, go against the masses, be different. So write down one of your heroes' name, and what would they tell you? What would be the advice? So again, you have to go inward. You really have to experience this. What would they tell you to do? Henry David Thoreau, the author, would tell me there is always peace that is accessible to you. This isn't something that he actually told me or read in one of his essays or books. This is just something that connects me to the spirit of Henry David Thoreau. Ralph Waldo Emerson, again, the great author, continue to educate yourself, right? That's something that I get from him. From Eric Thomas, the great orator and author, still living, absolutely amazing. Check him out on YouTube. Continue to grow and find peace. Continue to grow and find peace. The Ultimate Warrior, one of my childhood heroes growing up, be intense and create your destiny. You gotta love that. Cliff Martinez, one of the best composers in my eyes, and I love him so much because his music is so accessible, but it's just so great. He's done a lot of great work. Check him out. Listen to the inner muse. That's a message that he would relay to me. So what are some heroes? Go ahead and start writing them down. I'm going to give you 1 minute. And what would they tell you? What would your heroes tell you? Mozart, one of my heroes. Lose yourself in sound. And then finally, Sting study the craft of music. So who are your heroes? 1 minute, go ahead and write it down. We're developing a mastermind for you, a round table. You're getting some useful information. Good. 25 seconds. What would your heroes tell you? What private information would they relay to you? Why are you drawn to them? What's the message? All right, it's time. Okie dokie. Well, look, I wanted to thank you for this incredible experience. Again, take a breath. 4 seconds. Hold for 2. So I'm going to finish off by saying this quote. There are only 2 pains in life. The pain of discipline or the pain of regret. And they say that discipline weighs ounces while regret weighs tons. So as I close here, and I close this chapter in my life and I close this session, I just want to convey to you the importance of this moment that we're sharing together. We have both grown and evolved so much as people, as creatives, and I look forward to your development. I take it quite serious. All right. I want you to know that I'm constantly thinking of new ways to help advance your career forward. I am fascinated by this amazing journey called life, and I just wanted to thank each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. I am here to serve you. Chris is here to serve you. Benjamin, Angie, all the great folks that we have working for us. We thank you very much for this community that we've been able to foster over the last couple of months, and we ask that when appropriate that you refer what we're up to, our channels, all our various socials, to any friends, family that could benefit from the information. We have thought long and hard about how to contribute to the lives of modern creatives, and we're super elated about the journey that's to come. So stay tuned, stay in your frequency, stay aligned. And if you need to spend more time with this, please do. We'll have the video up and running soon enough. But I'm going to go ahead and wave goodbye to you now. Everybody go ahead and wave so we can, see each other again at some point very soon. So, all right, without further ado, I will bid you adieu, and blessings, blessings, blessings. Stay up, stay aligned, and keep your frequency high. I'll see you guys later, all right? Thank you very much. We'll talk. Cheers.